Welcome back. Welcome back to the Kovacs Report, and welcome to the chaos of the Akira live action movie. Now, the news that Warner Brothers' rights to the movie have reverted back to Kodansha, the manga publisher that first put out Akira all those years ago, has been setting the internet on fire as the vultures are circling the corpse, and we're all wondering who's going to pick up the rights to Akira and will they do it justice. So I thought this would be a perfect time to dive into one of the most infamous, frustrating and downright cursed stories in Hollywood comic book history, the live action Akira movie. Now, for over 2 decades, this project has been stuck in development hell, a place where good ideas go to language, scripts get rewritten a dozen times, and fans are left pulling the hair out. As you can see, I've pulled out plenty of hair over this. Now, Akira is legendary. It's my favorite manga and anime of all time. So why can't Hollywood get it right? Well, grab some popcorn, because this is going to be a wild ride through Neo-Tokyo's never-ending production nightmare. Before that happens, hit subscribe. It really helps the channel. I'd really appreciate it. If you like the video, give it a like. Now, if you're new to Akira, here's the quick rundown. Katsuhiro Otomo's 1982 manga and the 1980 anime are cyberpunk masterpieces. Set in a dystopian Neo-Tokyo after World War III, it follows biker gang leader Kaneda and his friend Tetsuo, whose life spirals completely out of control when he gains dangerous psychic powers. It's a story about rebellion, corruption, and the consequences of unchecked power, all wrapped up in jaw-dropping visuals. It's no wonder Hollywood have been obsessed with Akira, but oh boy, they've struggled. Now, let's set the stage to 2002. Warner Brothers have snagged the rights to the live-action Akira in a 7-figure deal. Now, this was a big deal. Akira was already a juggernaut, a cult classic, credited with bringing anime to the global audiences. Now, Warner Brothers saw dollar signs, of course, thinking they could turn this into a blockbuster. But here's where things started to go wrong. Almost immediately, the project hit roadblocks. First up, they tapped Stephen Norrington, director of Blade, to helm the project, who promised to keep the tone epic scope and make it more accessible to Western audiences. Now, that sounds fine, right? But his version included turning Kaneda and Tetsuo, childhood friends in the original, into brothers. And that's a big change, and fans were not thrilled. Add to that, Norrington's next film, based on Alan Moore's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, absolutely bombed in 2003. So he was out, and that was strike one. Let's fast forward to 2009. Warner Brothers tries again, and this time with director Rory Robinson, known for his short films, and screenwriter Gary Whitta, who later worked on Rogue One. Their plan, split Akira into 2 films covering all 6 volumes of the manga. Cool idea. Now, producer Andrew Lazar said they'd stick close to the source, and Otomo himself reportedly gave the green light to change things up for a fresh take. But here's where it gets messy. Whitta's script moved the story from Neo-Tokyo to New Tokyo, a Japanese city built on the ruins of Manhattan after an Akira incident. The US leases the land to Japan because apparently Japan needed the space, basically. I don't understand where that idea came from, but this setup nonetheless raised eyebrows. Fans worried it was a way to justify casting non-Japanese actors, aka whitewashing. Now, a leaked script didn't help either. Kaneda and Tetsuo were now in their 30s, not teens, and Tetsuo was renamed Travis. More like a travesty. Oh, and Akira was turned into some creepy horror movie kid. Now, fans were livid, right? And by 2009, Robinson and Whitta were gone. Strike 2. Next up, Warner Brothers brought in the Hughes brothers, known for Menace Society and From Hell. They seemed like a bold choice, but when their casting sheet leaked, and oh boy, did the internet explode. Names like Chris Evans and Joseph Gordon-Levitt were floated for Kaneda and Tetsuo. Now, they're great actors, sure, but fans, including George Takei, the man himself, called out the whitewashing. The script also leaned heavily and hard into 9/11 imagery, which felt like a cheap way to Americanize a story rooted in Japan's post-World War II trauma, like the atomic bombings in Unit 731. The Hughes brothers left in 2011, citing amicable creative differences, but it's clear that backlash played a huge part in their exit. By now, Akira was becoming a poster child for Hollywood's struggle with anime adaptations. The manga's deep ties to Japanese history and culture made relocating it to America feel wrong to fans, and the constant casting controversies didn't help. The project was shelved again, and that's strike 3. Now, Jomi, call it Sarah's back and forth, is even worse. Okay, he's the director of Orphan and Non-Stop. He was handed the script in, I think, 2011 by Albert Torres, with revisions by Steve Kloves of Harry Potter fame. Now, Colette Serra promised a more faithful adaptation, but Warner Brothers, well, they went ahead and slashed the budget from $90 million to $60 million because they were worried about the risks. In 2012, production offices were shut down, and Colette Serra took a vacation, quote unquote, from the project. Now, he came back briefly in 2014 with a new version closer to the manga, but by 2015, he was out for good. Now, already up to strike 4. So Colette Serra later said he found the characters uninteresting and Japanese culture lacking strong characters. I mean, how can you say something about such a beloved project, and how do you think that is going to inspire any confidence, right? That kind of attitude did not inspire any type of amicable reaction from the fans, and they were relieved, very relieved when he left. Now, by this point, Akira had cycled through 5 directors and 10 writers, with millions already spent and nothing to show for it. Now, Taika Waititi's big swing came in 2017 and hope flickered. Taika, fresh off Thor Ragnarok, was announced as director, and fans were cautiously optimistic. Me too. Taika's quirky style and respect for source material seemed promising. Now, he co-wrote a script with Michael Golomko and Charles Yu, aiming for an all-Japanese or Asian American cast to avoid whitewashing. Warner Brothers even set a release date, May 21st, 2021. Now, things were looking up. But then Taika got busy. He signed on for Jojo Rabbit, which was brilliant, by the way. Next Goal Wins, Thor Love and Thunder, and the Star Wars project. Now, Akira was pushed back yet again, and by 2019, Warner Brothers pulled it from the schedule, replacing it with The Matrix Resurrections. In 2023, Taika confirmed he was still attached, calling Akira part of his backlog, but he was focused on Clara and the Sun. Now, fans started to lose hope here, and again, we just took a collective sigh of this is never going to be made. Now, that brings us to where we are now. Right, the latest twist. In June 2025, after 23 years and millions spent, Warner Brothers let the rights to Akira lapse. They reverted back to Kodansha, the manga's publisher, and now other studios and producers are circling, like I say earlier on, like vultures. Posts on X exploded, with some fans cheering the end of Warner's saga and others worried about who'll pick it up next. Now, producer Andrew Lazar teased an update in April 2025, saying something big was coming in a couple of months. Maybe he knew the rights were about to expire. Now, Kodansha's in control, and the question is, will someone new finally crack the code, or will Akira stay in development hell forever? But why is Akira so hard to adapt? Well, that's the big question. It's been a nightmare. It's been an absolute nightmare. First, there's the cultural issue. The story is deeply tied to Japanese history, World War II, the atomic bombings, Unit 731. Moving it to America, like in Wurter's script, risks losing that soul. And secondly, whitewashing fears have haunted every single version. Fans want Japanese or Asian actors, so do I. But Hollywood's hesitated, worried about box office draw. Third, the manga scope is massive. 6 volumes, over 2,000 pages. Condensing it into a movie or two is tough. And the anime already did it pretty well. Let's add to the fact that some argue Akira doesn't need a live-action version. Plus, even further, live-action adaptations just don't do well. I mean, obviously, you've got Netflix's One Piece, which did pretty well, but Ghost in the Shell, that flopped. Maybe Akira's animation is what made it and makes it special. So, what's next? Could a TV show work instead? Well, I think that's the way to go. The manga's length and depth scream TV series. A 6-season show could cover the whole story. Like I said earlier, like Netflix's One Piece did for anime. Taika Waititi himself said he wants to adapt the manga, not the anime, which could work better as a serialized show. So imagine a gritty cyberpunk epic on HBO or Netflix with a Japanese cast and Otomo's blessing. It could be the answer to escaping development hell. So here we are, 23 years later. 23 years later after Warner Brothers started this journey, and Akira's live-action dream is still just that, a dream. With the rights back of Kodansha, there's a chance for a fresh start, maybe a new studio, a bold director, or a steaming giant will finally bring Neo-Tokyo to life. Or maybe Akira is best left as the perfect anime it already is. What do you think? Those are my thoughts. Should Hollywood keep trying, or is Akira untouchable? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit the like button, subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, let's hope we get to see each other in Neo-Tokyo soon.